Keyframe, please give us a 30-second elevator pitch for Ambris of the brilliant idea we had while he was offline. Go!
Okay, twink Sinji ass Jesus Christ and harem anime. All 12 disciples are GF furry women, and each season will be a book in the New Testament. And then we'll make it. And then we'll make a sequel series. Think about like Dragon Ball GT, but it's the Second Coming. So it's Jesus Christ SC.
Let's be careful with that Second Coming, name title. That's I'm just gonna say.
I mean, it's a harem anime. It works both ways. It's going to be an ecchi anime. So we're going to skirt the bar, but let's be real here. The Bible skirt the bar many times.
Yeah, but the important part is to get all the furry anime chicks in there. But yeah, exactly. Stay tuned for more on this fabulous, definitely not doomed to fail project. Hello and welcome to the AWKWARDCast, where our guest drops his camera on the starting point.
Not awkward at all. Exactly. Not awkward at all. You guys stole nothing.
He plans this on the second to be like, okay, Max is about to start.
I never have any technical issues whatsoever.
It's true. But yeah, Aimine, Keyframe, Wonder about Random Dribble. And our recurring champion, he got challenged just last week to the position of the most frequent guest on this show. But
not?
You are now again. With today, you are back in the lead with, if I'm not misinformed, 9 appearances on this show. So welcome back, Ambris! Yay! I need a soundboard.
Who's the other guy and where does he live?
Emerald Comet. He lives in Ireland.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so we just your test one. We need to have a party. We need to have we need to get like a little balloons gift to just cascade over the.
But yeah, Ambris. But yeah, insider tip. We already last week discussed with Emerald that we will get him over to the US, to California at some point in the future, where because we want to rent out the Google space and do a very sophisticated bad fan fiction reading. The one fan fiction that I rage quit on. So when he is over there, because you're also in California, right?
Yeah, he is.
After we did this, because Key and I actually really want to do this bad fanfic reading. After we did this, then you can get him.
Get him, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna kidnap him, and then
the best part about this hairstyle is that it works really well when I'm doing sideways face palm.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Perfect silhouette test. But anyways, Ambris, even though you've been here 9 times, shut up, Max. Even though you've been here 9 times, and plenty of the regulars know ya. You're probably just as well known as the host ourselves.
I mean, that's the name of the show, AWKWARDCast. Ambris with Keyframe wonders about Random Dribble, and I'm just here as a moderator.
Ambris with
I'm just it's the AWKWARDCast, and Knuckles, but it's and Ambris.
You're like the cousin character in all those 1970s sitcoms. It's like, it's Cousin Skeeter. Oh shucks. No, but who are you? What do you do? And why should people care?
And why do I not have his stuff prepared? Please start talking. I figured this out.
Furries. That's about all you really need to know. I'm a furry artist. I'm going to start a webcomic soon.
Oh yeah,
really soon.
With Erica in the lead, and where's more original art?
That's my main character. But I just draw a lot of art. I just try to draw a lot of art. I'm I would say I'm an art student, but I'm out of school at the moment because it's expensive. So I may, but
been a student.
I've been a student for what it's worth. I'm honestly really on the fence about the worth of art school. Like, if you can afford it comfortably, I'm sure it's great. But if you can't, I don't think it's actually that necessary.
It's a luxury, not a necessity.
Yeah, I think honestly, I would argue that I think the best thing that college can get you, at least for an artist, is contacts and, people to know and peers. Like, it's great for that. And, you definitely can learn some things, but I feel like anything you can learn in college, you can teach yourself these days. It's not critically important. But yeah, the network park is good. Yeah, I mean, I'm self-taught entirely. I've gone to college, but like, I swear every time I've gone to college for art stuff, kind of off and on, I feel like every time I get there and I'm like, I already learned most of this stuff myself a few years ago. I'm like always ahead.
Looking through Ambris's favorites.
Exactly. Let's get
ridiculously old art. Please don't.
No, but it's so. But it's specifically from here to now. The problem is that all your old stuff is pony stuff. So now we need to find the most recent pony thing. And recently, oh wait, there already is. Never mind. This was easy. No, this is not most recent. I just went one page back. No, it's the most recent. Something is off. I've pooped something
because you're
here.
in a specific folder.
Yeah.
It's not organized. You just go to his all pieces.
So do we have more quadrupedal? Quadrupedals. Wait, this is a quadrupedal. There we have a direct comparison.
There we go. That's great. That's very family friendly.
Absolutely.
I mean, recently.
I know. I wanted to say about
as we go into what's been going on in your life recently, you had a little bit of variety.
I'm infamous. I'm now horse famous in the best worst way possible.
Can I find the link? Okay, you
Please
keep
expound.
talking.
Yeah, basically, Cracked did an article on me recently. I mean, not a whole article. It was a big list article, and I was one of the entries. Indirectly, they were saying, blah blah blah. People drawing, pinups of a children's show, and aren't they so creepy and creepy? And there's 500 not safe for work images of this show on Google search. Ooh, 500,
and we know that.
Where is it? Number
and
11.
Oh, I went too far already.
Yeah, number 11. And
look at this art.
Scandalous.
They're wearing underwear.
What about the children?
And it's like it's staggering because it's out of all the images they could have chosen, that is like the most non-sexual, non-suggestive thing. It was really more of like, here's just what I think their body types look like. And they're wearing their skivvies for the sake of convenience. And okay, maybe they're posed a bit, playfully or whatever. But like, there's 1,001 different things that I've drawn that are way more suggestive than that are still technically internet safe. And they chose that one, and I'm just like, wow.
I would know anything or so, but isn't there actually even a naked version of this very lineup? And they went with the underwear version.
I almost choked. I choked almost on the comment of like, I'm sure all 20 soccer moms who read Crack would give a damn about it. I almost did a spit take reading.
And I love the fact that in all reality, this is like a thing being like, look, them with different body types and body type diversity and looking happy and stuff. Wow, sinful.
I know, exactly. God forbid,
I'm not saying, everyone knows that I am just a pure PG rated angel, but I feel like
you were talking about your Bible fan fiction a moment ago.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
See, I am so pure. My fan fiction is based off the Bible.
Absolutely.
It's just, I have a feeling that there would be a dirtier art they could have used, but I think either you or someone else said it that the reason why they picked that is they didn't want people actually enjoying these.
Okay.
They didn't want to accidentally turn people into furries.
Okay, we have this guy who draws actually NSFW pony stuff, but first of all, let's go back through his history and find something very old, so it's not as good as the new stuff, so that people don't get too excited, and also take the harmless version to keep it low.
Keep it low. But besides that, Ambris, what else has been going on?
I mean, that's pretty much the biggest highlight in the last few weeks. I've been suffering from allergies. It's that time of the year, and I'm just like, Ugh, I wanted to die yesterday. It was the worst.
Burning down every tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume it's pollen or something. My allergies are so erratic. It seems like I'm allergic to everything and nothing, and I can't figure it out. But I'm probably going to see an allergist, a specialist or something soon to see if I can get something. I hear you can get injections for like seasonal allergies that kind of help reduce them. I don't know how true that is, but that'll be nice. You know, I'm much better today, thank God.
Yeah.
I've been doing. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm just going. Yeah.
Yeah. Aside from that, I've been doing just trying really damn hard to get my webcomic started. I started doing the sketches for the first page.
Ooh.
You know, and then, you know, I hope to get it done this week and then start posting. It's like, you know, that's the goal. That's the goal. We'll see if I manage it, you know, but I should be close. I dyed my hair, which I don't think the camera is capturing quite well.
It lets off a purple sheen when you point it in the light. It's just like
exactly
like a purpley blue sheen.
Just let me like.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Ambris. Oh.
Bitch, you trying to get on my turn?
No, I know. See, I'm trying. I'm going to apply for a L'Oreal commercial, and fail.
I know, late commercial. Just like I can't do it because my hair is just a block of cheese. I can't do any of that nice wavy stuff because then it just becomes this.
But you know what? The light is in the perfect place that it really like shines off your hair in just the perfect
way.
way.
The blue shows up better on this show than it does in real life.
No. Yeah. Oh man, now my hair is getting wacky over here. Whatever. You know, let us see your L'Oreal twirl, Max.
He did. Don't point down your head that much. I'm just.
Oh, great. That's actually.
You know, A for effort.
Just today, I got. Just today, I was like, hey, I found a bald spot in my shoe, and I got the comment back like, yeah, I'm not going to make a joke yet now. And I go, thank you a lot. But yeah, with all the furry stuff going on, I just want to point out today's episode is brought to you by Ferret Paw, the paw of a ferret.
Da, 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 da. I need to get you more glasses with different designs on them for your sponsored things. Hey, why did you do that? You went like, ooh. I was like,
I mean, I wouldn't even know where to put them, and
I was making a hypothetical. That's not a promise. I know, given me, you have the rightful right to be like, oh no, she said she's going to get me something.
Exactly. And I'm running out of space for physical stuff, so.
I know. That's why I commission more art. But
which works well.
Yeah. But besides, Ambris, if that's all that's been happening in your life was becoming an infamous cracked person, what about you, Jerk?
An infamous crack person. Great thing.
Yes, yeah. That's exactly what
I'm great at describing my friends.
I know, right? So you were just describing a different friend and asking them about what happened in their rig, right?
Yeah.
Huh? Sorry, say that again?
Okay. No,
I'm segueing for Max to talk about his adventures.
Exactly,
oh, okay.
Exactly. And I was giving you a build up to insult me too, but I guess you will never ever have another that great.
I'm sorry, I just kind of zoned out at the tone of your voice. It's kind of, you know, a little bored.
God fucking damn it! Now I remember why I don't like the two of you having here at the same time. It's like speed A and Y time.
Look, dude, I'm using this as enjoyment because when you and Brett are together for Vegas, I'm going to be the one suffering.
It's true.
Because you two instead. Okay, let me just say this before he talks. Golden Fox and A&Y in stereo is hell on earth. Not because they argue or anything. They're not. It's not that kind of internet shit. It's the fact they complement each other so well.
Get a room.
The last.
No, it's like two brothers, and it's like, oh my god, no.
Brett and Mai or the Golden Fox and I being stuck in the same hotel room led in the past to great historic moments like Oreo time. So
We are, this is why Oreos are not allowed in the hotel room in Vegas, my friend. But no, the thing
wait,
is
this is a law in Vegas?
No, it's not. It's a law in Chrissy land. No, just the fucking thing. They complement each other really well. They bounce off of each other really well. You wouldn't think it, but they do. And the person who's in the vicinity of that bouncing off, it to me.
You have to watch it all the time.
Watch it, experience it. Because guess who they target? Because they're not going to target each other because that's like two ends of the same magnet. Anyways, what's been going on in your life, Coffee Boy?
What is going on in my life? Indeed. I guess not too much spectacular stuff, but I had I believe today 2 highlights, unless I'm forgetting more again. I'm getting old.
No caravan palace.
No, not a caravan palace. I'm getting too old for 2 parties in a row. First thing, today, after only 6 years living in this city, I actually went to one of the weekly flea markets in Berlin.
Good job.
I know, right?
I think I've been to more of those than you have.
In Berlin, you mean specifically?
In Berlin, because I go to them when I visit.
Okay, in
mostly
Berlin,
with your rebels.
I don't think I've ever been to a flea market, ever.
No, but yeah, we went to the really big one at Mauerpark, and so my personal highlight was that apparently there is this kind of we saw at least 3 of those very big stands where they just have banana cartons full of banana boxes or whatever you call them, full of stuff. Crates, yep, full of stuff. And stuff where you are when you find a little jewelry box in it, you open it, you just find random crap in it. So literally,
one of those things.
No quality control whatsoever. So basically, they are just hoarding stuff and then just vomiting it out on their tables and selling it to people, which doesn't mean that the stuff is generally bad, because they just grab everything and just sell it to whoever is willing to pay. They make up the prices as they go, because there is no price sign on anything.
Jesus.
It's an offer what you want kind of thing.
No. It's a systematic, how much can I ask this person to give me kind of thing, I guess.
Mercantile anarchy.
Yeah. So a little bit of a shady business, but this should not necessarily say anything about
love that kind of business.
I really know.
What does that say about me?
Yeah. But yeah, the thing is I came to one we came to one stand and I was like, oh, I know this thing. It's like a messing key or something, which is pretty big, and I'm like, yeah, in there, my grandma had one of those. In there is hidden a bottle opener, for wine bottles, like a bottle opener screwer. Popping it up, obviously it's in there. Oh yeah, and look at this item. She also had this item. And this item, and this coffee mill over there, and
Grandma?
And I'm like, she's dead for years, and she had an old flat that got dissolved at some point, so I'm like, okay, scary. How high is the probability that whoever dissolved my grandma's flat put all of it in a box, sent this box to Berlin, and now I'm staring at it?
Just open up something. There's a picture of baby you with your grandma.
This was
that's uncanny.
This was, thankfully, and they had shit, they had stitching pictures also on the same stand, and I went there through the carpet and started looking through them, because when I was a child I was into this kind of stitching stuff. And I could swear that I gave one of them as a present to my grandma for Christmas, because I needed one more Christmas present. And I looked through it and was like, when I find the one that I stitched, I will lose it. I didn't find it, which is like proving a negative.
Lives another day.
Which is like proving a negative. I cannot prove that this stuff was not my grandma's stuff, unless of course my uncle comes and is like, oh, I actually have all this stuff. It's in a storage in X, which I don't think is the case. So for now, the theory still stands that actually my grandma's old household ended up on a flea market in Berlin.
That's a great title for a story.
I know. I also messaged
someone call Unsolved Mysteries.
I also messaged my family via WhatsApp. We have a WhatsApp group for the family, and I messaged them like, "Oh my god, so weird! So freaky! I just came here and stuff and whatnot." And my sister's like, "Oh yeah, this sounds like a real thing and totally." And because she only had unique items, and I was like, "I have a feeling that my conspiracy theory doesn't get taken seriously." My brother-in-law dropped in. Which one do you mean? But he has this completely dry humor. He is observing those conversations, and then every now and then he just drops in with
I like him.
with a nuke of a one-liner. Great man. And but yeah, but the freaky thing was like, and on one of the first stands, same kind of stand which was the biggest one. We literally found old photo albums, like with legit old black and white pictures of families and babies. Yeah, I was still like, what the hell? Does this basically mean that I can now buy this and use this as an prop in a video or something? Be like, oh, look at this picture of my grandmother as a baby. I found this creepy too. I'm very glad that I'm not the only one who thought this was creepy.
I mean, like, I've seen that stuff before because I used to go to like yard sales and estate sales with my uncle when I lived in New York to find records. But like, and you know what? They'll sell everything, including photo albums and that stuff. I remember one time
they're selling photos of strangers to strangers. It's like, whoa, creepy. I mean, as a prop, it's pretty cool, but whoa, creepy.
I mean, like, I guess it's just like anonymity, privacy. What's that? You are the one that probably died, and your property got acquired because your family didn't care enough to save these things. So, but no, I agree.
Truly bizarre. I can understand, like, there's certain things I thought like really old photos, and like you're a historian or you like you're fascinated with local history, and so like you can find grandparents' photos from like the 1930s or something like that, and then like those are super cool, probably, but like the average person just like it's so weird, I don't get it, but shrug.
It's creepy. But yeah, so
where did Key go?
I have no idea. She didn't leave a message somewhere.
She just kind of yeeted herself out.
Yep, she was like, nope, this is too creepy. We don't want to hear about strangers' children's pictures. Or she's getting some pictures. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, on behalf of John Matthews, I want to tell you, Ambris, that you are one of the 3 greatest people next to me and Key.
Moi?
Apparently, yeah. But yeah.
I'm gonna tear up.
But yeah, I guess I just go into my second highlight of the week until Key returns, which was after that I saw Yuri again. So for the first time ever, I saw in real life his daughter, which is like born in July, so you can calculate the age by yourself, peoples. But it's like since he moved companies, which was officially in January, but he already was not in the old office anymore with December, with remaining vacation days and stuff, and so I probably, unless we met for something in between, I probably haven't seen him in 2 months. And I used to see him on a daily basis and a little bit less daily basis. But it's like, yeah, he's my bro here in Berlin, and I haven't seen him in forever since he become a dad and started a family. Like, how uncool. I mean, his wife is pretty cool, so I guess they get a pass on this one. But yeah, so
it's not like you're jealous or anything,
It's more. It's actually less jealous because I wouldn't want to have a baby and stuff. So,
and I'm giving you a great bit for comedy here, and you have to get sincere on me, man.
I'm sorry. No, but so yeah, they came over. I finally got him. The baby is finally old enough, and they came over, and we had like just coffee and cake. And obviously, Yuri was like, "I bring cake. You can't live with a baker and then be told that somebody brings cake." So obviously, she needed to bake muffins yesterday to counter Yuri's cake for when Yuri came by today for coffee and cake and bringing baby daughter over and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, poor excitement. I saw Yuri's offspring for the first time, real life. I was excited. This was one of my week's highlights, besides finding potentially the remains of my grandmother. Not the remains, but
okay, now if you weren't your story, it remains of my grandmother.
I mean, there was a lot of ash on the floor on the flea market.
I was sitting here thinking about, you're talking about finding photos of, like, wouldn't it be, like, great, even creepier, like, you go and you find photo albums of, like, your grandma, except the photos that where you should be, there's a different kid altogether.
Whoa, okay, now it's getting...
How's that work?
Okay, anybody who really wants to fucking mess with me, come to Berlin, finds this vendor at Mauer Park, kind of, then buy an album, doctor it, sell it back to them, and then kind of make it in a way that it catches my eye. And then I just walk there, do it a few months in the future, so I have forgotten about it. And then I will be there, and I walk, and I will be like, "Oh yeah, you remember those creepy albums? Let's check them out. Hey, one of them looks weird for some reason. It speaks to me." I open it, and whoa!
Look, I have watched entirely too much Twilight Zone, so that's where this all comes from.
What kind of Ocean's 11's worth of effort do you think we're going to do to make you terrified?
First of all, it's an actual challenge since I'm not easily terrified. Second of all, we have some crazy dedicated fans.
I mean, look, as for me, I still need to, like, get revenge on both of you for, like, the defamation you were putting on me in the.
I was besmirching your good name.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or I go to court for defamation. But,
what have we done this
one
time?
One or another.
So when he was quiet, when he was silent, I was saying how
when my mic wasn't working, and you guys.
I was just affirming his 100% real beliefs of Crystal being like a terrible furry girl and Luna from Helva being trash and down with furry girls.
But yeah.
But yeah, anyway, continue.
Any highlights from you? That were my two highlights, which is as much as I can squeeze out of an entire week. So, Key, anything happening on your end that's fun to talk about? This seems like a gym story. This was a gym story. No,
it's actually not a gym story.
Oh, but there's a story.
The thing was, so I had a topic I wanted to talk about in my media, but I actually went to the cinema this week, so I have a legit thing to talk about. So I'm going to put it in my week because I did find out about this in the week.
Okay.
So
I was Googling stuff at 4 a.m.
Oh no, this is
always great life choice.
Grandma Mosby always said nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
I was born after 2 a.m., so that's true.
Oh God, that's awful. Oh.
Well, no, I was actually born at 8 p.m. I have had many of anecdotes on this show about how my birth is a weird ass thing in this universe. Given I wasn't supposed to be born, my mother was never supposed to have children because she only had one working ovary. I was a month late because I was supposed to be born on Valentine's Day.
You are a bastard.
And my birthday is March 12th. I am a bastard child with 2 out-of-wedlock parents. I am an anime protagonist in the making, baby.
Hell yes. You got the hair for it.
This was a conversation me and Max had at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, which I actually posted on Twitter.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, the basic thing behind that was that we were just chatting, and I was saying that, like, I want to be like the buff anime waifu or what things, and Max was like, yeah, embrace your inner anime chick. And it was just such a organic thing of like, Aren't I already? I got the hair and the tragic backstory. I'm just some magical girl transformation or fan servicey fight sequence. And the thing is that we were talking a little bit, and then Max was like, by the way, this is just Twitter worthy, and screenshot part of the conversation. Because the whole conversation started, like the further context from that was I was talking about weight loss because at the gym, I was asking the employees for a piece of equipment, and they were just asking me questions about what I do with my workout, and it went into the thing of me talking about how 3 years ago I was around 200 pounds and how much I weigh now, and I had like the before picture on my phone, and they were like, "That is a different person." I was like, "No, that me." And they were like, "No, it's not." And it's like, "No, that me." and you know, all that. So I was like, I never really recognized how different I look. Like, I do look genuinely like a different person. So it went into that, and how, like, at Christmas, one of my cousins was saying they'd never noticed how big my eyes are, because, you know, when I was bigger, my face was a lot rounder. You wouldn't be able to tell that I have this kind of facial structure if you were looking at my before picture, because my face was like a circle. And so, like, I don't like looking at myself. I swear I'm not a narcissist either. But, like, the thing was, and that's how the whole anime discussion happened, because I was like, my eyes only look bigger because there's a little less surrounding them. They are, like, free. But no, that was not...
Set your eyes free.
My highlight was that I was bored, and we were talking about shitty towns in California. And I think we were talking about one town. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Fresno. Fresno comes into this later in the story.
Oh, boy.
But we were looking up, like, famous people from different cities, because on Wikipedia, if you look up a city, it could say notable people from blah, 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 blah. And in one town here in California, there was a group called Prussian Blue. And they were, I'm going to just read the Wikipedia article here. Prussian Blue was an American white nationalist neo-Nazi pop duo.
What?
So it's just like, I'm sorry, but just like
we were talking about Bakersfield.
Oh God, I was gonna say, hopefully not Bakersfield. Nothing good happens in Bakersfield.
That's where we started, was Bakersfield.
Oh God, that's where I live.
The thing is, how old do you think the two girls, the two twins in Prussian Blue were when they were in this duo?
They're girls. Oh my God, that makes it.
Yes.
It's like
named Lynx and Lamb. That is their legal names. But please, how old do you think that they were?
I have no idea. 20?
Okay, that's a guess. What about Max? Max, what's your guess?
40s.
They were 12.
Okay. What was the description again?
American white nationalist neo-Nazi pop duo.
I'm sorry, but just like the emotional roller coaster of those words, neo-Nazi pop duo. It's like going off the continental shelf or something.
I mean,
it's like
they had great hits such as "Your Daddy," "Keepers of the Light," "Stand Up," and "I Will Bleed for You."
This is especially at age 12 a really weird one with the "I bleed for you."
They may have been younger than 12. Okay, so they made the band in 2003 and they were born in 1992. So do the math there.
1992, they'd be 28 today.
They're in their 20s now. They ended the band when they were 14. So they were active from 2003 to 2007. And they renounced all their weird Holocaust denial, neo-Nazi views, and now support the legalization of marijuana.
I mean, at the end of the day,
that's what we call a character arc.
True, but at the end of the day, also, how can you even be a neo-Nazi with 12?
I mean, they're probably just you're the impressionable age. They go to the wrong place. They get contact with the wrong people.
Exactly,
and they just run on that momentum, and it's really creepy and weird. But
I mean, I just mean like 12
top 10 anime redemption arcs. There we go. Exactly.
Here's the thing. Yeah.
If you're really just a 12-year-old impressionable child, that's my point. That like you basically, I mean, sorry to all the 12-year-olds in the audience. Wait, is Twitch even allowed with 12? Probably not. It's 14 or 16 at least, I think, or 13, whatever. But yeah, let's face it. From somebody who is twice your age, you don't know shit. You are naive and in the best way possible. You can still enjoy the world, but it's too early to have this kind of a radical political view. If you have this is like believing in Santa Claus. You are just repeating what adults told you. So that's like, how can you? So that's a really disturbing part. So they probably had a very creepy uncle, if not their parents, who wrote those texts for them.
I mean, if you want to get a good look at them, they have 2 documentaries about them. One being called Nazi Pop Twins.
Oh boy.
I mean,
well, I guess name it says exactly what it is on the tin.
and I mean, like, they also were in another one called Louis and the Nazis. But no, the thing is, what I love is a lot of their music was used for riots and different votings, because they apparently they were really popular in Australia, and in 2006 a compilation album was released through the far-right National Democratic Party of Germany titled For the Fatherland, featuring them.
What the
that
fuck?
sounds
Oh no, I found a picture of, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yes! Smiley Hitler!
Why? What the
They
fuck?
definitely look like people from Bakersfield, right, Ambris?
not everything hurts.
They look like the Olsen twins, except Nazis!
Except racists. Oh my god.
Oh no, and they're blue-eyed and blonde. Oh.
Yep, that's why they're called Prussian Blue. But okay, I'm just going to say this: they don't subscribe to these politics anymore. But bringing this up, the other notable person from Bakersfield was a former teen pornographer, like a teenager who did pornography. But I had to redeem myself, so I looked up the second best thing next to Bakersfield, which is Fresno, California. And I found a magnificent man that I think we can all learn something from. And his name is David Phillips. So he was a civil engineer. He was the Associate Vice President of Energy and Sustainability at the University of California. And he was known as the Pudding Man.
The Pudding
now,
Man?
Chrissy, you're probably asking,
do you know the
why
Pudding
was he
Man?
known as the Pudding Man?
Pudding Man?
Let me tell you how this man, through the power of pudding, got 1,253,000 frequent flyer miles through buying pudding.
Is this a SpongeBob episode? What the heck is going on here?
No, let me explain. So back in like 1999 or something. Yeah, 1999.
This is still your week, right?
Yes, this was my week. Healthy Choice was running a promotion where if you had like the barcodes, like if you had if you got 10 barcodes from Healthy Choice products, you get 500 flyer miles when you mail them in. And each mile was valued at 2 cents. So Philip calculated how much that would be per barcode, which would be 1 cent, and then figured out which Healthy Choice item that you could buy the most of and get the most miles back. And he determined a 10-pack of pudding. And so what he did was, because the pudding packages were 25 cents a piece, and he bought out every case of pudding available, totaling 12,150 individual servings of pudding. And then he ordered additional cases. And to divert attention so people didn't figure out why he was buying this much pudding, he kept saying that he was buying the pudding to stock up for Y2K. That is such a 1999 thing. I love it.
Oh and my God.
People at the grocery store just started calling him Pudding Guy. And because it took so much time to remove all the barcodes himself in that amount of time to get like the early bird bonus for the miles, because then you would double from 500 to 1,000. He recruited members of the Salvation Army to peel the barcodes off the pudding containers for him, and he just donated the pudding. And because of that, he got $815 in tax write-offs because of the donated pudding. And because of all these flyer miles, he is now like a permanent platinum member of the Air Mile Association.
Wow.
Without even flying.
He didn't. Yeah, he got all of these miles from pudding. Now keep in mind, how many miles 1,253,000 is? You could probably fly from Fresno to Ohio like 100 times over. I don't know why you want to do that, but you could. The thing is, I like to think that he has not flown a single day in his life after receiving those miles. He just wanted them to say that he has them.
But it's like other people have jobs. They make money with it.
He works at the University of California. He's a civil engineer, and he used the powers that he had with the smarts that he probably went to school for to learn how to do these calculations and be an engineer, to engineer a way to get this many miles from the purchase of pudding.
There's an example. People like to say that lawful neutral is boring. That's an example of lawful neutral being entertaining.
Yeah, and I just want people to think about this in the terms of money. So, like, I have spent from $500 to $800 on a transatlantic, ticket to there and back, round trip, and those are a few thousand miles each way back. This man only spent $3,140 for all that pudding and got 1.2 million miles.
Somebody's gaming the game.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm assuming that they changed their setup because that's, quite abusable.
He still takes place when there's frequent flyer promotions and statistically earns points 5 times faster than he's spending them. And here's the thing. If you've ever seen the movie Punch Drunk Love, this plot may seem familiar to you.
It's
because this was the guy that inspired the subplot in Punch Drunk Love of this guy, of that whole thing that happened in the movie of Paul Thomas Anderson's. This man is an inspiration to media. And because of that, I want to pitch to you, Max, can we get David Phillips on the AWKWARDCast? Can we get the Pudding Man?
That is a Pudding Man?
That would be great.
Is he the Pudding Man?
Yeah, David Phillips is the Pudding Man.
The Pudding Man. The Pudding Man.
Do you know the Pudding Man?
Do you know the Pudding Man?
I just this man. Basically, it's just terrifying, the power that be. Oh my God! I found a picture of him, all the pudding he bought.
Oh no! Share it, and then we can move on to media.
I know, but I'm just saying I had to share this story because that made me laugh so much. All of those are cases of pudding. He bought the store. Wait a minute. Those are the stands that they use in the store. He just bought the stands.
Well.
I'm also okay. I found a picture with him in it. Let me just say, this is a very 90s looking man.
I mean, rightfully so. He's in the 90s. Yep.
Well, that's not it. There we go. Here it is. Here's the Pudding Man. See the face of God. Once it loads.
Yeah.
This must be a very high quality pudding.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's never.
Oh look! See, people in the chat are revving for the Pudding Man and Awkward.
The Pudding Man, the Pudding Man. But here's the thing.
That's pretty nice. He looks exactly like a 90s civil engineer.
He looks kind of like Max.
with hair.
I just want to say with more hair.
With more hair and a squarer jaw.
But the thing is, do we know if he's awkward material? I mean, he is the brain of an awkward man, but is he truly like a Somebody who can keep up with our verbal bullshit.
I don't know.
Or-
David Phillips.
Okay,
if you're a fan of the Awkward Cast.
Exactly. Or, I mean, we can check with him. If he's if he's a person who makes a good guest, but if he is more the quiet type who is like, oh no, I'm fine with not talking, then we can still get him for the show. We have our guest in the top left, as always, and we put him in the bottom right window, and we just have a camera on him, and for 1.5 hours he gets to eat pudding.
And with that, we move to media. Thank you for joining me in Chrissy Learns Way Too Many Useless Pieces of Information. Here's the thing, Max, just be happy. Because if I didn't talk about it on AWKWARDCast, I was going to talk about it when you visit at the end of the week and be like, dude, I know we need to sleep before the park, but I need to tell you about the Pudding Man.
The Pudding Man?
The Pudding Man. But yeah, so media.
Ambris, do you have a media for us?
I do. I do. Sorry, I just realized I was muted for a moment there because I was. I do have a media. I started watching. I started watching this earlier this week, and I'm absolutely in love with this show,
Okay.
Glitch Text. It's on. It's a Nickelodeon show, I guess, but it's on Netflix. Yeah, exactly. And I saw the intro, like they put the intro up on, I don't know what, Twitter or something some month or two ago, and I'm like, oh, that intro is hype as heck. It's 30 seconds of just hyperkinetic synth music and just like with the dumbest lyrics ever, but the raddest sound I've ever heard. And then it just came out on Netflix just now, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this show. It's so much fun. It's very video game. I mean, obviously the whole premise is video games. Video games glitches, they basically come out in real life, and they have this task force of people that go and fight them, and it's just a love letter to all video games. This is clearly written by people who like video games. The last episode I just watched, the entire thing was this big love letter to Castlevania specifically, and like just all the little weird in jokes. I want to say even like they reference like the memes that Castlevania has. The whole what is a man? Nothing but a miserable pile of secrets. That whole meme that was going on for a while back. They reference that like hilarious, terrible dialogue.
Okay, now there we go.
That's the actual intro. Yeah, it's just
Oh, it's so cool.
I know, and just look, it's so visually fantastic. I adore the way it looks. It's so bright, kinetic, and I'm struggling to effectively describe it.
I love
without
live.
I'm just very effervescent about it and rambling. But it's like great visuals, great, really fun writing, super likable characters. And just a great premise. Like, if you like video games, if you play video games of any kind, it's just like, it feels right. Like, so many things do adaptations of video game content, and they just, like, miss the mark, or it's clearly written by people who don't know about video game stuff.
Except for one exception. I have a new GIF! It's super low quality, but hey, Key, that was a great thing I was hinting on earlier.
Why is it okay? Not only is it like frames per second, but why is it also like completely desaturated?
I have no idea. It's probably from a camera in the cinema. It's like we have to wait until the proper version leaks somewhere, and then I will look up a new GIF. Hey, Keyframe. Always remember.
Don't worry, Brett. I was just screaming in agony because Max was being annoying. Okay, you can go now.
But Keyframe, always remember, this is fine. Okay, sorry,
Anyway, so
sorry.
Glitch Text.
Please.
I adore this show. It's been a long time since I've watched a show, like a few episodes of, and I'm like, oh, I'm super eager to watch the next episode. Like, I can't wait till I get the time to actually sit and watch it. In fact, I'm gonna just leave this podcast right now and go watch an episode. Bye.
You know what? Fair.
It's just and the girl in particular, Mako, or is it Miko or Mako? God, I don't even realize now.
It's
I know
Miko.
her gamer tag is Mikeo, so it's like I'm getting that wires crossed with her actual name or something. But she's adorable. I freaking love her. Yeah,
I mean, Twilight hair is a good start.
Yeah, she's got the Twilight hair. Someone posted a picture of her stocking from Panty and Stocking and Twilight Sparkle, and they all had similar purple pink hair, and I'm like, I need to do one of those Hex character fusion memes with the three of them.
But
I am excited to see if I like Five. Five looks like a character that would become one of my boys.
Yeah, he's great. They're both just super likable. I every time I talk about my media, I always feel like I ramble and I don't get to the point of what I'm trying to say, and I'm not even sure what my point is. It's just I freaking love this show. It's only 9 episodes long.
They have another season in production. They have another 10 episodes.
Nice. Thank God. I really want this show to succeed. Because it's just I don't know how to describe. It's so
good.
I don't. Words. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I don't know how to say it's good a different way every time. I don't know if I should just move on, but it's good. It's if you like sort of action shows, it's super flashy. If you like video game stuff, just in general video game gamer culture, that's all in there. If you just like bright, colorful, cheery animation, it's there. It's got really great synth music all over the place. I have almost no complaints about the show. It's really good on other things I want to say the racial representation is really good. There's that's just a huge relief for me. It's something that a lot of shows fail to do even when they try to do good or they whatever. So it's just so good. You have a very concerned look on your face.
I'm just hearing a weird noise. I was
okay.
wondering if it was me or someone else.
No, I believe it's Ambris being very, very excited and moving his cable.
Around. Okay. Okay, but no. But let me ask, since is this a show that is so genre savvy in it being because the premise is video games that you think someone who's not as into video games as say
us,
you or Max or me would not enjoy it as much, or do they have enough humor and good character that you can like it despite maybe not being as well versed in video games?
I want to believe that. It's hard for me to say because I'm so neck deep in that culture that it's hard for me to get a broader perspective. I feel like it is I want to say they run that thin line of if you're familiar with this joke, with this meme or this concept in a game, you'll oh wow, I can't believe they reference that concept, or just or I understand that dynamic. But if you're not, it's still just a good story on its own. It's still just entertaining on its own, and you as long as you understand that video games are a thing, and there's bad guys, and there's gimmicks, and there's power ups. I think you probably can understand. You can probably follow along. It's. I want to believe that people would get it. We would be into it, even if they're not, neck deep in game culture. But I can't. I'm not in a very objective critique of that. I hope that this show is successful because I know not everyone is super into to game culture. So I hope the show is successful because it's probably going to need the approval of people outside of that too. So I don't know what to say. You probably would have to ask someone else. But I adore it. I hope other people adore it. I want people to watch this show. I want it to be successful. Netflix has been on a roll lately with producing great cartoons. Yeah. It to me it's freaking cartoon nirvana. So it's keep it up, please. I adore this show. It's. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, especially since they have released 9 episodes. They have 10 that they're planning to release more. And then if the show does well, they have 10 that they've had scripted and everything that's just in the Nickelodeon vault. Because keep in mind, Glitch Text has been in the works for a fucking long time.
Oh, really? Oh, you're right.
Has it really?
It's because
I don't know anything about its history.
I haven't seen the Netflix show yet, but I've been following its production for a long time. It basically, I think in 2018 they made the original pilot, and then but in early 2019 it was the series was stalled because a bunch of the crew members were laid off. but they said that it wasn't canceled. And then finally, they've announced that it was going to go to Netflix, but it was in a limbo for a long period of time. And that's why, they just have a bunch of stuff made for it that just, if the show doesn't do well, they'll just not make it.
Oh,
even though it's produced.
Please do well. Please do well. It's aside from everything else, it's one of the most fantastically animated shows I have seen. There's so much life and energy and chaos to it that I adore it. And if you're, I want to say the target audience is maybe even people. I don't know. I'm rambling way too much. I'll shut up now.
Well, the creator of the show was a writer on Robot Chicken, so I would assume that it does have. He was a writer on Robot Chicken, and I'm just glad he did that he has this, because the other series that he was working on as a writer was supposed to be Star Wars Detours that got canceled.
Oops. Oh no! So, I just want to say that one of the episodes has a scene that is literally a perfect homage to the Thundercats intro, the original Thundercats intro, and it is freaking the most ridiculous but epic thing I've ever seen. And it's okay, this show was made for me. It sometimes it feels like I'm the target audience of this show, even though but I sure hope everyone can enjoy it. I really do.
Well, it's on Netflix, so if somebody has Netflix, they can just check it out.
Go watch it.
Yeah. So, maybe before we return to animation, I squeeze myself in between.
I was.
You mean you don't have?
You were going to be the next one.
Yeah.
You don't have anything animated?
It's an audiobook.
No, it's an audiobook. I didn't see anything. At the end, you wanted to hear what I have to say about it, Keith. So, hey, things come together. So, I listened to and finished this week You're Never Weird on the Internet Almost, Fun and by Felcia Day.
She looks weird with short hair. I don't like it.
How dare she, right?
How dare.
Known person for being probably the producer and protagonist of one of the first bigger, especially long-running, successful web shows on YouTube. The Guild.
The Guild, I think it was?
Yep.
Yeah, The Guild.
The Guild, probably being therefore the spawner of any other YouTube web show later, or inspiration for it. And also later the creator and showrunner of Geek and Sundry, which brought you fun stuff like Critical Role, and I believe this board game show with Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
This is a person, and she was on the AWKWARDCast, and Jesse had a crush on her, and this was one great intro when...
AWKWARDCast? You mean co-optional?
It's the same at this point.
Except one is a lot more popular than the other.
It's true. Co-optional, yes, sorry. My insanity went through with me
if
there.
Felcia Day was on AWKWARDCast.
Here's the thing.
Felcia Day for AWKWARDcast.
We could put her on the list and just ask. Nowadays she is more... this basically the book ends that she is now in a state where she is after finishing this book, she is at a point in her life she did an after credit, especially for the audiobook, looking back at the book tour and how it's ended now. And she's now at a point where she's like, okay, she will take care of herself. She will not kill herself with stress and work anymore, and instead rather do things that she likes. And if we ask her nicely, maybe she likes the idea of coming here. I could realistically imagine. Nevertheless, the book. Let's stop talking about Felcia and Jesse's crush on Felcia and whatnot. Let's talk about the audiobook. So it's written, it's read by her as well, if we give the audiobook. And here's the thing, she has a very humorous way to tell stories in her quirky type. And if you look at the title, you also expect a book that is more down the funny lane. But as you can barely see on screen, it says here a memoir. So it's a little bit more on a autobiographic end of things. And the more I went into the book, and she starts early childhood, and she once again, she describes stuff in a quirky way, how her mom pulled her out of school and started homeschooling her after some shenanigans with a Christian religion teacher literally burning money in class. And so crazy stuff happening, but there's also especially the more while she's a teenager or a kid, all of the stuff is more down. You are more like, okay, that's quirky, that's funny, that's oh boy, look at those nostalgic anecdotes. But the further we go down, and the more she becomes an adult, and the more she struggles, and well, she gets her way through with her passion project. She managed to make the guild by probably recording stuff without permits at all and in garages, and basically using the different rooms in her own house as the different rooms of the actors in the guild as their homesteads. So they basically simulated all in her place and crazy stuff like this. And but she also talks a lot about how she had a real video game addiction, which nearly ruined her life. Then she went from one thing into the next. That she always obsesses about stuff. That she then falls often enough in depression and so on. So it turned a lot more real than you would expect from how it is presented. So this is something that it also comes in, and she stays like tongue-in-cheek about it all, but you hear her talk about real episodes of depression that lasted months and whatnot. And I'm like, this is actually not a fun comedy book. This is like a real yeah. It's her life. Her life was not sunshine at all. I mean, she is still going, but the story of her life she tells in this book is not necessarily sunshine and rainbows. It's about rainbows. It's about an awkward person who got raised with homeschool and stuff. So she had barely she was lacking certain contact to kids her own age growing up, which probably made her added to her social awkwardness. She often talks about her anxieties she really has and struggles with in this book. So it's an interesting read in that regard, but it also has, like, because she has a chipper tone to it, and because she at the end of the day ends it on a positive message. She talks about encouraging, and she is like, hey, if only one person if you give only one person gets motivated by this book to stick to their passion project and go through with it, then it's worth it. Even all the struggle that when she got involved in the Gamergate, not involved in the Gamergate movement, but she got targeted by because she was like, this is literally the last chapter where she was also like, I'm not. Where she in the chapter is like, I wasn't sure if I should write about this, but I want to, and it's about if I can just change one mind, it will be worth it. She's very much coming from that angle, and she's also not, I guess, thanks to her anxiety and her imposter syndrome, she's also very much not all the time like. She achieved a fuck ton of stuff, and at the same time she is very modest about it due to the fact that she is still like, oh my god, I didn't do that great. I like she's her own self-doubt make her very modest and chill about her achievements. So it's an interesting, I dare to say, inspiring read. It's I mean, it's not necessarily.
I might check it out. I'm always looking for more audiobooks to read.
Yeah. I believe it's
or
not,
listen to.
Yeah, I believe it's not one of the longest ones. So
is that why you told me not to use my Audible credit yet?
I mean, I haven't finished it at this point either. Yeah, what is... No, you are never weird. God, I can't spell anymore. Read on the internet almost, and now we want to go to Audible because it's. I mean,
you're well prepared.
I just had the picture up. I didn't expect that I would have to check out. Yeah, it's not even 7 hours long, so
that's better just to buy straight out.
Maybe I cannot see the price anymore because I'm logged in and it is in my library. But yeah. It's not a bad one. Oops, this is the wrong one. This is also wrong. Where is it? God damn it, I lost it. There it is.
We're talking about glitch checks again?
Yeah, totally. No, but interesting one. I wouldn't. I'm probably sticking to the thing that I told you, Keyframe, that not necessarily being like, oh, that's a must read. But yeah, if you're interested in it, if some of the stuff that I described sounds interesting to you, then I would recommend it. I give it a little bit with like, yeah, it's not as haha funny or as quirky funny as it presents itself. She is charming in her presentation of it and with her inner commentary and whatnot. But yeah. I found it interesting, but then again, I also have like far too many audiobooks in my library already, so I listen to anything.
Yeah.
It's on the good end. It's on the good end. It's not. It's
Is it
solid.
better than the last audiobook you brought onto the cast?
I mean, Gideon the Ninth is just a thing in and of itself that must have
It's
been...
a thing.
Dare I ask?
Watch last
it
week's
involves-
episode. We had interesting...
No, don't ask her to do that.
Watch just
So
the
imagine-
part about the
Imagine
audiobook.
sci-fi necromancers
That sounds
Who-
badass.
in a nunnery, except for this one person who just dropped from the sky, who
Literally,
is on,
as a baby.
who somehow can go into a fight scene, putting on a pair of sunglasses that she inexplicably has, and then she has an emotional breakdown, saying, "Why am I so attracted?" Okay, I think I hit the nail on the head here.
Yeah.
Why am I so attractive? It's such a curse.
Oh,
What?
I mean,
that's
you're not too far off of how the character
It's true.
puts.
okay. Can I find the big picture
That's-
of the cover again?
That's
She
hilarious.
also inexplicably has porn magazines in a planet that's mostly filled with this nunnery.
Yes, it doesn't make sense. Or where she got those damn aviators is also a mystery. I'm trying to find the
Wow,
cover.
just
She paints
I mean-
a skull on her face,
I mean,
too,
she
so.
has to. She really would like to not to, but she has to. She's forced to. When the fuck did Google change to not show the resolution of pictures anymore? This is the dumbest thing they ever did. Now I don't know how to find without just
did
glancing
it
over.
just to inconvenience you.
They really
Just-
did. I
just
have the
you.
yeah. Me personally. Is this a big picture?
Your life is so hard.
I cannot tell if this is a big picture. It doesn't look. I can literally not find the big picture anymore.
But no matter how inconvenient you feel, at least you're not cursed to be attractive to everybody.
that is
It's
still up
so
for debate. But yeah,
That is up for debate.
I mean this is not the real cover since somebody drew those numbers on it, but that's Gideon with her aviator glasses on.
She makes me ashamed to have this hairstyle.
What? She's a fun character. She's also the perspective of the book. But yeah, it's also a little bit of a murder mystery.
But anyway,
Anyways.
so about Felcia Day.
Exactly. Yeah, I believe I already said my piece about it. Like, it's an interesting one. So anything I mentioned sounded interesting to you, I would say, like, yeah, sure, check it out. It's not a must read, I would say, but if you're interested in this genre, in this person, yes, go for it.
Yeah, generally relevant to my interests, and
In
yeah,
this case,
sure. Yeah, check it out. I had a huge crush on her back in the days of the guild.
who didn't? Me,
Yeah, I
because
guess
I
so.
only discovered the guild years later.
I thought most people got crushes on her through Dr. Horrible.
Oh yeah, right.
She
She's
did
Because
also-
then you get
wow.
a pretty girl who could sing. Yeah, she was Dr. Horrible's like love interest.
Yeah,
that
okay,
was
wow.
dating
I-
Captain Hammer.
I didn't realize that. I think that was probably before. I think I saw that. I didn't
I mean-
recognize who. I
Yeah, I mean, she is
okay.
also had a role in Supernatural, in a bunch of commercials. She actually is on real TV as well as
A whole
on the internet.
new generation will now know her for the Pony Show.
Wait,
Like
what? Felicia Day was.
she was Applejack's mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm just saying that episode had William Shatner and Felicia Day in
Wait.
it. Two
I did.
different
Oh, really?
generations of
Holy
them.
shit! I mean,
Well,
I
yes,
recognize William
grandparent.
Shatner's
Yeah,
voice
grandparent.
instantly. I recognize William Shatner's voice
Oh, yeah,
anywhere.
she's in Fallout New Vegas.
Wait,
I had
There's
no
a lot
character.
of-
Holy shit, she's everywhere. I
She is?
kind of
Yeah.
didn't know she existed after the guild. I'm an idiot. God.
She even existed
But
before
yeah,
the guild.
anyways.
She was in commercials and stuff before the guild.
Wow.
Anyways, yes.
I want to. Yeah, let's.
Let's.
So I guess it's.
Oh, she's Veronica. Anyways, yeah, your media.
Da 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 da.
Veronica's
Why did I do
great.
the Attack on Titan theme?
I don't know. Why did you do that?
You
Attack on
can't cross
Titan?
shonens like that. That's blasphemy.
How dare? But no. So at the theater I gotta stop clapping. I feel like this is not fun for the people on the watching the cast when I'm doing this half the time.
The title
but
is
no,
still not visible.
I found me and Miss Kichi found out that the movie theater down by the mall plays anime movies.
Ooh, anime.
Hell yeah.
And so we went to go see the new My Hero Academia movie, Heroes Rising.
When does it take place with the show? Is there any hint? It's always hard to tell with those movies.
I think they keep it a little vague.
They have their provisional Heroes licenses at this point. But I think this is before the festival?
Yeah, sometimes they take place in the middle of seasons. It's all weird.
Yeah, I mean, they give you the basic information of why he's going to be the greatest hero and all that stuff.
Always,
and
yeah.
At this point, Bakugo knows that Deku has All for One. So
should I put on the spoiler tag?
Deku has All for One? Holy shit!
No,
spoiler.
I was more so thinking about Bakugo's knowledge, not about the fact that season 1 content.
You asked.
It's true. But
those are the main things that can tell people when in the story it is.
Yeah, true.
But no, okay, so just to say, we watched the Japanese version with subtitles.
Ooh, that's. I mean,
That's exactly what I do.
I mean, then again,
they didn't say if they were playing the dub or not. We went in there blind, being like, either it's going to be in Japanese or it's going to be dubbed. But My Hero is a show I can watch either or because I do like the Japanese voice acting. They have very fitting actors.
And I mean,
I generally prefer subtitles, but dubbing has gotten so much better in the last 10, 15 years than it was.
I like the My Hero.
Yeah,
dubbers.
and the My Hero dubbers are they're genuine. That's valid. They're great.
Yeah, and luckily the dialogue doesn't move so fast that you can't read what's going on. But it was also, we went to go see this movie at 9:50 at night, and most of the theater was full.
Ooh, really?
There's a lot of weebs in my town apparently, but they must all knew that the thing was going to be subbed because they took all the seats in the fucking middle and back, so we had to sit near the front.
Oh no.
But luckily that means that we heard the entire audience behind us is like this echo coming through because we were in the absolute front. But it was fine because it's one of those movie theaters where you can recline your seat.
Oh, thank God.
But anyways, movie theater. Oh, and there was a guy in an All Might hoodie when we were at the snack bar that complimented. I had a Tonadori shirt, and Kichi had a Critical Role hoodie, and he came up to us being like, "I like your hoodie, and I like your shirt." It's like, thanks. But the movie. So basically, what the movie is about is because basically, a lot of the big heroes now are semi-retired, including All Might. They feel like they have to train the new heroes harsher. Less harsher, but get them more ready. So what they do is that they do basically kind of like a summer internship program where they send all of Class 1A to this island to basically take care of them.
Because this never went wrong in the past.
Yeah, so they go to this place called Naboo Island or something like that, and basically they become the helpline for the entire city. Most of it, basically, for the most part, they're just helping with smaller things, not like big villain stuff until the villains come in. Ooh.
Yes, I thought this place was safe from villains.
Yeah, so and the big bad of this movie is a faction of the, I'm gonna butcher the name, the Shakakari, Handman's gang.
Oh, the League of Villains, yeah.
Yeah, the League of Villains, but this is another faction, including Nine, who is this one villain who has been genetically engineered to basically have the stealing quirk power that All for One has. So he can steal 8 powers and use 9. So that's his quirk. But the thing is, because of that experiment, when he uses the quirks, his cell tissue is basically deteriorating. So he needs to find someone who has the power of cell activation. But the person that he found that had that cell activation power doesn't have it for his blood type, So they're going to find the guy's son who has that cell activation power.
I see.
And of course, that kid lives on Naboo Island. So it's the it's Deku and Bakugo and pals having to save the island from these 3 villains. 9. I can't remember the other 2's names because they didn't say them a lot. But one is like this blue buff werewolf looking dude who has like an eagle claw foot and a tail like a lizard. And his power is basically he could spit. I think his power is spitting fire and also just being a giant super buff dude.
That's
and then a woman who has prehensile hair, so she could turn them into literal spikes and shoot out her hair like quills.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And it was a really good movie. I'm not going to say how what the final fight was like because spoilers.
Yeah.
But what I really liked about the movie is that everyone got a chance to shine. It wasn't just Deku's movie. It wasn't just Bakugo's movie. Everyone got their fight scene. And that's why. Yes, Froppy got her moment.
Good. That's all I care about.
Like part of her fight scene was involving covering the other members of her little faction with her poison to paralyze one of the villains. But everyone got a moment, and that was good. Even in the setup where they're just helping people around the island, everyone showed like the practical uses for their powers, and then they showed the combative uses of their powers. It made me respect Diaper Baby. And for people who know, I don't like Diaper Baby.
I'm not sure if I want to watch this anymore. I don't ever want to respect Mineta.
I see him bleeding from the scalp many times, which is very cathartic.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this movie also points out a lot the weaknesses of the characters and how in the My Hero verse each power has a drawback.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say Naval Laser Man does have moments where he mentions how much his stomach is hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he says that all the time, I think.
I know, but and you know, Ochiko does throw up more than once. Point being, they use it a lot, and it's actually like it's a really intense movie. It's fun. It looks great. The child characters are not that annoying. One child, the cell activation kid learns to like Deku, but his slightly older sister learns to like Bakugo, which works because she's a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like her whole establishing thing is accosting Deku for not being fast enough. Because she was like, if my brother was really missing, you would have been here faster. It took you a whole hour to find him. You're not a real hero.
Ooh,
so imagine this 5-year-old like yelling at Deku.
Oh wait, they're actually here, hidden in the background.
Yes, she has the power of illusion, so she can make illusions.
Cool.
There she is.
And it's really good. Plus, none of the All Might, the teachers, they are basically not. It is the kids who save the day.
Nice.
You do see, his name's not Falcon. Hawk?
I forget.
I do like him. I call him Hawk Boy because he is cute, and you know, he has that. Yeah, Keigo Takami. Hawks. I'll put an image in our Skype chat. This guy, who is very much my type because he's a lanky, deadpan-looking motherfucker.
Yes, not a Link.
Oh, he's cool looking. I like him.
Oh, that's the one from the... Oh, that's interesting because he is in as a child visible in the current credits, which is the current credits are childhood pictures or past pictures of known characters in the show. Yeah. And yeah, please, links are better because now I have to move all of Skype.
But I'm sorry, but I had to be quick. But you can. I'm just saying, people who know me, you can tell that this guy is a character.
Your type.
Yes, deadpan.
We all have a type.
Deadpan ass looking motherfucker. But big hair, goatee, like.
Here's a question I have, which often for me comes up when it comes to OVAs that come out accompanying TV shows, ongoing TV shows. Mm-hmm. Will it have any relevance to the plot? Because I've seen another My Hero movie, and it was like completely its own entity. It was good in and of itself as an entity, but it's like Yeah,
I would guess probably most OVAs are self-contained. I mean, most OVAs add certain context for that. I guess big fans would enjoy.
There's a certain thing that happens in this movie that I can't say what happens,
obviously,
because then the people who want to watch this movie will get mad at me.
Yes, that is correct.
Mostly the person that's down here, because this person has gotten mad at me multiple times for talking about things.
Deku has one for all.
Rage quit.
But no, like, the thing is, I can see how it can be self-contained, but there's so much that happens. It pushes the characters to their absolute limits so much, they have to acknowledge it. Because I feel like this is the first time that all the characters have faced villains that strongly and defeated them. Because, I mean, like, this is, even though they have their provisional hero licenses at this point in the story, they always did have the assistance of the other people that are in mainland Tokyo. So, but this was the first time they fought it all by themselves. And most of these characters are near dying.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying, Tonadori has, like, okay, there's something that happens with Tonadori and his power set that they are going to have to acknowledge later on in the show, because it's very...
We will see.
Put up the spoiler thing. I'm not going to say exactly... I'm not going to say exactly what happens. I'm just going to say this is for the people who watch the anime and haven't gotten to the point. You know how Tonadori's training with his power of fire was to make himself as hot as possible? That will come into how he develops further his powers in the movie. That is all I want to say. But it will make sense when you watch. But I was mostly saying that I know that there is some people who haven't gotten to the Tonadori part of the anime.
It's Todoroki.
Todoroki.
I was sitting here trying to figure out who you were talking about. I'm like, who's Todoroki?
I can't pronounce most of these characters' names. That's why I think I like Mina and Froppy, because they have easy to say names. I remember Bakugo's name because I always call him Bakugan, because, like, the little marble dragon game. And Deku is a nut. Like, Deku's a literal tree nut. Yeah. So
his real name is Midoriya.
I know, his little Midori. Yes, I do know. Yeah. But I will call him Tree Nut as much as I want.
And Froppy
he is St. Louis Smash Man. Then there's Diaper Baby. Then there's Lightning Man, Lightning Rod. But yeah, I
gotta hear all your dumb names for them.
I'll do that. I'll do that in the post show. In the post show, we'll bring up all the characters' things, because I am terrible with names. Even things that I like, I am terrible with names.
Yeah, I mean, she keeps calling me Matt.
No, my dad called you Mac. That is actually true. My dad purposely will never say Max's name right, because he knew Max, like, never talked to him, but was like, isn't your friend like a spy or something? I'm like, why do you think my friend's a spy, Dad? And it's like, German. Because he's German.
We are known for spy.
Wow, that is like a really bad dad joke.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, my dad. But no, for my hero, my dad's quirk would have been bad jokes that just hit you like a sonic wave.
They have the girl with the good jokes, quirk. He's like the opposite of that.
Yes.
But yeah, the movie.
But no, I recommend it to anyone who's a My Hero fan. It's a great OVA. I actually think that it's self-contained enough and explains background information about the show that someone could jump in watching this OVA before the series. I don't recommend that in the sense of why would you do that? But if you had a friend who was like, I just want to watch like one thing to get me a setting for what the show's going to be like.
I just want to watch a bunch of teenagers almost die. That's what I want to watch.
Yeah, if you have
a
friend who's coming over and you have you want to watch this thing and they're like a filthy casual. They don't care. They just want to watch a fun fighting movie. This actually does work as a fun fighting movie of all these things, and you don't get confused watching it. Because, there's parts of the anime I haven't seen yet. I've read the manga. So that's why I know things that are going to happen, which is why I am the terror to most of my friends when they like My Hero Academia. There was a specific thing in one of our sketch streams where I had the little horned girl, someone requested her, and when I showed the picture to Max, he was like, "Why is she smiling so much?" And I was like, "Oh no, you'll find out." But no, I really
she gets a hug.
No, I didn't recognize her in street clothes because I only know her in a hospital gown. She has the horn pretty big at this point in the story. And in the sketch she wears normal street clothes, her official manga street clothes. And the horn is barely visible.
Candy apple.
Yeah, and she looks happy. All this didn't make sense to me.
So pure.
Yeah, but no, I really recommend it. I think it's better than the first My Hero movie, the first OVA. I think this one is a definite improvement in telling the story in a structured way.
Because I believe there were multiple ones. With the first one, you mean the one on this high-tech island?
Yes.
Ah, okay, that's the one I've seen.
The other island movie.
Yes.
I actually haven't watched that one. I don't know. I haven't gotten around to it, but.
Yeah, but yeah, the plots, not only the plots of those movies are contained, even the locations. They literally take the characters out of the normal story, put them somewhere for some shenanigans, and they drop them back in. And yeah.
But yeah, the action is great as usual. Bakugo gets so many great moments. I really love Bakugo nowadays. He was such a shithead at the beginning of this whole series, but he's become a spicy chef's kiss of a boy. Sharp Teeth Boy is still Boo though. No one dislikes Sharp Teeth Man.
Oh yeah, everyone
again. Post show, we will have a great time of me saying what the names I call these characters.
All of these characters.
I used to say Japanese names. But no, I really recommend it. Music's great. Everything's great. I would actually say you could watch it subtitled and you're not going to get lost in it. The dialogue isn't rapid fire. You can actually read through it. They give you more than enough time to read the lines. So I know I have to give that preface to people with subtitled things because I don't know if they've done the dub localization yet. But if you really want to watch it, you can watch it. You can watch it now, and I don't think that you'll lose anything from it. All my hope is at the end. The thing was that when we got out the movie and we were saying how good it was like, you know what's the thing that made me most happy about seeing this movie? Is knowing the fact this theater does anime movies. So when they release Lupin the First in America, it'll be at this theater. Probably not dubbed, which would make me a little bit sad, because I like watching Lupin dubbed. I like both, but still. But I need it. Give me my Lupin movie. But yeah, My Hero Academia, 2 thumbs up. 2 St. Louis smashes.
I'll have to watch it. I freaking love My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Boku no Hero Academia. I'm gonna go full weave on you guys.
But yeah, with that, it is time for the question.
The Q&A. Get on Twitter besides Enigma breaking the rules.
Okay, now here we have an actual interesting one. Or some that might spawn into something interesting. It looks easy on the base. However, it's from General Awesomeness Plays. At ANY, at Keyframe, at Ambris Art. Why you two so cool?
Oh.
So
well, I mean,
which
Ambris go first.
Wait. He tags all 3 of us, but then says, "Why you two? So cool."
Exactly. So this is like, okay.
There's only 2 of us that are cool.
Exactly. Who is the third one who gets tagged but ignored in the same tweet?
So that's wicked.
That is the real question we have to answer.
I
am pretty cool. Look at all those pictures I have on the wall. That makes me cool, right?
I'm cool because I can do the emo anime boy thing. I can do this.
That is pretty.
Okay, what?
I mean, look at me. I have D with it glasses. Cool. Can you be cooler than D with his glasses? Oh, and I have a. Here's the proof why it definitely was Ambris and me who was referenced in this, because I have something that connects us. So they are talking about us because I have this, which is drawn by you.
Exactly. That's which inherently makes me cooler.
Exactly, and we all know that the dab is the coolest thing there is. And I leave this on.
No. We all, don't lie. We all know flossing's cooler.
Exactly. There we go. Can we make it even worse so that Keyframe turns around and leaves when she comes back instantly? Oh yeah, wait. I have this one too. Let me just move it up here. Whoop,
I need to put on my cool person shirt. I mean, like, I guess I could be cool by the fact that I could probably kick everyone in this room's ass.
Oh wait, it's the UA shirt. True. Oh, I only now realize.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
But
now,
yeah,
okay?
I'm cool like Steve Buscemi, and I have a dab emoji, huh? How cool is that?
I have this. This makes me cooler than both of you.
I have my new avatar up, huh? What do you think now?
Well, I'm sorry, but you can't be cool. You have deal with it glasses, but
It's true.
Let me tell you.
That is pretty cool, I will not lie.
How do you see through? Can you even see through those?
Yes, you can. These are actual sunglasses that Lauren got from the Warner Brothers booth at DesignCon.
Wow, okay.
But I know. I will be bringing these to the movie theater when Scoop comes out.
Nice.
But,
so yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie.
I guess we passed.
I'm just trying to think of. I don't know. I guess who is the cool that got ignored?
Leave it to the comments. Exactly. They'll have to choose. Two of us are cool. One of us is a scrub.
One is the weakest link.
Chat and as well commenters on YouTube, you decide who are the two cool people and who is the one awesome person. Okay, moving on to the next question.
We know that answer. Yeah, sure. Discord. There we go. Let's see. Okay. From some disembodied Enigma. Are you happy, Enigma? You got a question. If you can only talk in the lingo and pitch of your favorite cartoon forever, which cartoon would that be? So, you mean talking like a cartoon character, or talking in like the lingo of a universe? So like how Adventure Time has like mathematical and all that shit. The thing is, I kind of talk like a cartoon character already, so I don't know.
I honestly don't know how to answer that. I feel like that's a bit too vague.
I mean, yes.
That is very esoteric.
Yeah.
So, but what is your favorite cartoon? Maybe we can build it up from there.
So I would just say zoinks and jinkies and jeepers.
Okay.
Zoinks, jinkies.
Yeah, that's Keyframe's answer.
I would talk with R's, so I would go like Rut-Row-Rax.
Exactly. So I guess that's the thing is lingo and pitch. It's more like associated with a specific character, not like a whole show. So I'm not really sure.
That's why I'm like, start with your favorite show and we work our way from there to a iconic lingo from there. Oh god, where is Keyframe's thoughts right now?
Scooby-Doo's like speech impediment is just the 60s version of ooh-woo speak. Yeah! Anyway, you guys, I'm going to be quiet now while I revel in that thought.
Okay, what is my favorite cartoon?
Favorite cartoon?
I guess
favorite cartoons don't involve characters.
We have lost Ambris, so I guess I have to go next.
I'm trying to say...
What
are we going to do on the car? I'm sorry to say, what are we gonna do on the mattress in Scooby voice? I can't say it straight.
What are we gonna do on the mattress, Raggy?
Poop pump. I'm dying. I'm sorry.
You're welcome. But no. I mean, I would say like if you talked in the lingo of BoJack Horseman, it would just be a lot of depressive alliteration.
I guess. Oh yeah, alliterations are a big thing in BoJack. But is BoJack my favorite cartoon? This was the question, right? Favorite cartoon?
Yeah. No, if you could talk. Oh yeah, of your favorite cartoon forever, talk in the lingo and pitch.
I'm sure I would love to talk like the freaking Jaleel White Sonic the Hedgehog from, way back in the day.
I mean, you would definitely be the life of most parties.
I know. I love that cartoon.
I mean, there's at least one cartoon voice where I already have a past history with, so maybe it would just be like, ha ha, hello, I mean, why, ha ha, get out, ha 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 ha. Did it ever get released? Keyframe, do tell me, Keyframe. Did it ever release it? I can't even recall. Ha 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 ha. Because here's a funny story about this.
Are you freaking Mickey on crack? What's going on?
Basically, she asked me once to do a comic dub where there is this somber guard character who actually shares some wisdom. But for some reason, I did a second take on this entire pretty long comic at the end of the day, so it's probably like 5 minutes of red text. And I did it all in this Mickey Mouse balls.
He did it all in one take, which is the most, because I was there like in a Skype call listening to him record it, and it was one take with no breaking. I still have that audio on my computer. I just need to release the video. I just never edited down the blooper reel, but goddamn, that is
I can't wait.
Potent stuff.
It didn't help that there's like a later part in it where you don't really hear me in the audio. You only hear a little bit. And we were talking about Maker Studios and Disney right after he did this whole Mickey take thing. And you just hear him being like, wait, does Disney own Maker? Oh, no.
But yeah, I cheated my way out of answering. Yes, because I'm Mickey. Ambris, I believe. What did Ambris answer?
I mean, I casually joked about, Jaleel White, Sonic the Hedgehog voice.
Oh, yeah, it's good enough as an answer. We are late at time, so we need to squeeze in more questions. I actually, J-Org, I actually will take your question from last week because I found it more interesting than this week. Yeah, last week was like for all three. Would you... Then again, Ambris was here so often, so he might actually have been on the last one where we asked this question. Would you rather do vacation in the mountains or at the beach?
Yes.
I totally would do the beach. I love the water.
Okay.
I need the water. We've had this discussion. I was a fish in my past life.
Yeah. I'm kind of on the same boat, no pun intended, that like I'm really like, honestly, if you asked me 10 years ago, I would have said the mountains. I was very enamored with like the aesthetic of forested mountains and that kind of, and I still like that, of course, but in the last 5 or 6 years, I've been like super enamored with tropical beaches and just like that high contrast, bright, blue water, white sand,
which has
coral reefs, like
do with your art style, including a lot of bikini girls.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean,
exposed.
I mean, yeah. Right.
Could I bring a kiddie pool to the mountains so I can swim while I'm in the mountains? Then I would pick the mountains. My whole thing is not even the beaches and the aesthetic. My thing is just I like swimming.
How small are you that you can swim in a kiddie pool?
We're not answering that question today.
She's like,
how dare you?
3 to 4 feet tall.
Tall enough to kick your shins in, boy. Don't tempt me. I told you I wasn't planning anything homicidal yet.
But yeah. Okay, we have 2 beaches. For me, it's I probably could not decide. Period. Because I like both for very different reasons. I do like mountains, nature, trekking, this kind of stuff. It's more of an active vacation, like getting out and enjoying nature, while beach is for me like lazy chill vacation and going into the water, because I also love water. That's the thing. I love swimming and stuff. So, but I have literally did a trekking tour through Norwegian mountains years back, and I got to swim in a mountain lake. Like, motherfucker.
See, that sounds fun.
Exactly. Who needs a beach when you can have a mountain lake in
I just want water. My choice is water. I just like hearing you say I like the water, and then I just get the flashback to us going to the Santa Monica beach in June, and you holding yourself inside of the ocean in utter pain.
It was so cold.
Oh God, no.
That was his first time trying Pacific water, and let's just
Yeah,
say
the
that-
Pacific Ocean is.
Cool.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah,
Okay,
so
back
next
to the
question.
Discord.
Desert Samurai asks, what was your favorite video game that you enjoyed as a kid, and what do you enjoy now as an adult? Top tier favorites.
Top tier.
For him, he enjoyed as a kid Mischief Makers on N64, and as an adult, Shovel Knight. I guess that's interesting because then you could see how your game taste may have changed or stayed the same. My favorite video game. I always think, like, what was my favorite video game back in the day? Because I played so many, but so many were also the same.
Yeah, I'm having the same problem. I feel like no matter what I pick, I'm gonna like think later of a completely different game that didn't occur to me. I'm like, I should have picked that one.
I'm gonna say the game I played the most often is probably the one that I passed as my favorite childhood game, which was Simpsons Hit and Run on the PC. Fucking love that GTA parody of a game, and that was like, it was a PC port of a console game, so you had to use 2 discs to install it onto the computer. It was great. A lot of content. I mean, it was either that or saying Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem on the GameCube, and I really didn't want to incriminate myself further than I already have.
That's just your second favorite.
That's just my second favorite. But yeah, that's my favorite childhood game. My favorite game as an adult, that's not TF2. Probably like Undertale or Battle Block. Like, I like games where I can solve puzzles and do things and have a story. That's what I could say. Genre-wise, I have not changed in the fact that I like platformers and puzzles.
For me, I also, from my point of view, it's like, there's so much which I could define as back then. Like, I was obsessed over different games in my teenage years. So going really back, childhood. I believe I actually loved the Super Nintendo era at our household more than the Nintendo era. Probably because I was also too young for the Super Nintendo, for the Nintendo game. So I really started to blossom into a lifeless gamer on the Super Nintendo. And if we go by mere...
Beginning of the end.
I know. If we would go with mere quantity, I probably would say Secret of Mana. Because I played it over and over and over. I would, however, say that Terranigma was better. It sadly came out so late at the life cycle of the Super Nintendo that it got super appreciated. And even I moved on so quick that I did not play it as often as I played Secret of Mana. Maybe one other one to throw in there was Yoshi's Island, because it was just such a damn solid jump and run.
Yoshi's Island is great.
Yoshi's Island.
I never managed to 100 every level, I believe. Or did I actually 100? Because I 100'd a lot of really the most difficult. I had at least first 4 worlds completely 100'd, every individual level. But at some point, no, I believe I had all bonus levels unlocked. So I must have 100'd everything. But yeah, I was playing it, like, it was very solid. Nowadays, if I go by quantity, on Steam I have still the most hours in Defense Grid. I believe, like, mere absolute stuff, then the game I played the most often all the way through was Batman Arkham Asylum, because it has this smoothness and straightforwardness that actually, Arkham City, I love Arkham City, but Asylum has this straightness to it. But you probably can tell by my past and by my present, I'm all over the place. I couldn't even pick one favorite game. So yeah, I'm just I have a problem.
As your genres that you've enjoyed evolved though?
On the Nintendo, it was more like Terranigma, Secret of Mana, so the RPG, but the top-down RPG, which was not really what we understand as an RPG nowadays. And today, I actually, on the one hand, indie stuff, on the other hand, like stuff like Batman, it's actually over the shoulder at third person, isn't it? Yeah, it is. But I also developed a little bit of love for those more shooterish or so games, but straight down shooters. Even I have the Doom remake on the computer. I have never finished it. I love it. It's a great game, but it's not my genre apparently. So
I'm looking forward to the new one, that's for sure.
I like that game simply because I remember one time I was at your house and I was really frustrated and you were like, you
Play
sat me
Doom.
down, put the headphones on my head and
Play
gave me the
Doom.
controller.
Exactly.
But what about you? Wait, did Ambris already answer? No,
Nope.
he didn't.
I'm sitting here trying to think about how to organize my thought, because it's like that is such a hard question. I've played games because my older brothers had games, so I had games around me when I was too young to have physical motor controls to play to do the controllers effectively, and I was still trying to play them. So it's like it goes so far back. Like I want to say, like I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan. I pretty much have played most of the games in the series, or at least the ones that have come out in the United States easily. I was playing the original Fire Emblem 6 when it came out on the Game Boy Advance. Here I played the hell out of that. Every other game that's come out since, I've played the hell out, including the most recent one, Three Houses. I can replay them multiple times. So I mean, in that sense, my tastes have almost stayed the same. I'm a big fan of tactical RPGs. I adore them. I don't know why they just click for me. Right down to the fact that I beat XCOM 2 on Iron Man Impossible, or whatever the hardest mode was on that, and that took a long time. And that's one of my proudest gaming achievements. I love myself some tactical RPGs, but that's just a good baseline. But I also played the hell out of Sonic 3 and Knuckles when I was a kid. No joke. I replayed that game a ton. That still love it. Still just classic. But if I'm going to talk about games that I think had the most profound impact on me, I would say the classic one would have to be Majora's Mask. That was my first Zelda. It was my first Zelda, was Majora's Mask, which is a weird one to start on. I knew what Legend of Zelda was, and I had heard of Ocarina of Time. My brothers had played Link to the Past plenty, and I think I had dabbled in it, but never. But Majora's Mask came out at exactly the time where I was old enough to actually consistently play a game through, and that game had an effect on me. That was it was so moody and dark and effective. I don't know, man. It's wild. So, and I heard so much praise for Ocarina of Time. I eventually went back to that 10 years later. I'm like, okay, it's a good game, but Majora's Mask I like more, and maybe that's just nostalgia. So I would say Majora's Mask might be my favorite old game, and or at least it's the one that had the most impact on me. More recently, I would say Undertale is probably the game a recent game that had the most dramatic impact on me. In a similar way, wow, this really changed my perspective, changed my the way I see things. We emotionally got to my core and will forever sit there. It's So those what I would have to pick. It's kind of hard to go all over the place. I play a lot of games.
Yeah. So how much time do we have left? Because we had a long stream today.
We had a long one.
I always make your guys' stream long.
You are right. I think you do hold the record for our longest stream.
You can say it. I don't shut up.
No, it's fine. Trust me. We've had more chatterboxes.
Do we have any more true gems on Discord?
No.
Then I guess let's move on to the FMK.
Yeah, sorry, friends. I do like some of these questions, but Max has to go to sleep.
It's getting close to 11 p.m. and I have work in the morning.
He has work in the morning, and he needs to get over whatever demon is inside of his throat before he flies at the end of the week. Better. So, from our good cease and desist from Subway. Thank you, Wolf. I enjoy that. Ask Awkward. My God. Yes.
Can you at least say Odie's name so he doesn't get too sad?
Sure, but I do like this name.
What is the Odie's?
Did we answer Odie's question is relatively quick.
Okay, if it's quick, then we can answer
Odie's. Jesus Senpai Kimochi asks... that's the best birthday gift anyone can give me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Sorry, I have to say I'm kidding because someone's spending money to fly. What's the longest walk you've had in your life? Can living be counted as a walk? I guess the longest period of time that I've walked is anytime I go to a theme park because of consistent hours on my feet. That usually goes up to like 10 hours on my feet. With very brief breaks to get on the rides.
Yeah.
Non-stop walk would be some cancer walks that I've done.
Well, to come back to the answer to the question previously, I have done vacations in Norway, which were trekking trips. So it was usually 3-day trips. If we don't count the entire day time, it would probably be the middle day. Because first day is like starting at the base camp, getting stuff together, moving out. Then camping somewhere at a mountain lake, for example. And in the morning, packing everything and just making way to the next station point. Or as far as we get, and then the last day is just finishing the trip and returning. So the middle one is trekking through the mountains for an entire day. That's most likely the longest I did.
Impressive.
How about you?
Probably nothing as that impressive. I mean, I've certainly been on my feet for long hours when I go to cons. For very easily just on my feet for hours at a time. But I would say like the most consistent walk is when I used to live in Seattle. I have to walk to work and back, and it was like actually kind of like a couple miles, through the town and then up into a little mountainous, neighborhood area that literally there were copses of trees where you could actually get lost in between buildings.
And my thighs are feeling sympathy pain.
Yeah, exactly. I actually, half of it was, up in and around the mountainous area. So I would have to walk a mile of that, and then it was like a mile straight flat line when I got to the bottom. I would walk to and from that for work, and then be at work for 8 hours on my feet all day, and and sometimes I'd be walking to work 6 and 7 in the morning in the cold Seattle rain, to go work in a refrigerated meat department. So yeah, there you go.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what else is lovely? The FMK. So there you go,
Yay.
Odie. Happy? But yeah, from a cease and desist from the subway says, "My God, your God, their God, we're calling all gods. Fuck, marry, kill. Jesus Christ, Siddhartha Buddha, and Zeus. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil." So.
Okay, wait, what was that?
An agnostic, an atheist, and whatever Ambris is walks into a bar.
I'm an agnostic.
Yeah. So, let's.
I'm an agnostic or maybe a Wicca. I'm not sure.
Who knows? But you're the guest.
But an agnostic, an atheist, and a Wicca walk into the bar is way better. It sounds really cool.
That is true. But of these three options, of these three lovely boys,
what was the middle one?
Buddha.
Oh, Buddha. Okay, I didn't. Okay.
There's two different types of Buddha.
Okay. There is?
Fat one and thin one. But yeah.
This one's the thin Buddha.
I've never heard of a thin Buddha.
Never mind. Buddha. Just go with whatever Buddha you imagine.
Just go with Buddha.
Buddha.
Okay. Look. Gotta fuck Zeus. Okay?
Uh-huh.
He's a terrible husband. You never want to marry him. You probably don't want to fight him because he's freaking goddamn Zeus. But he's laid pretty much anything and everyone in the world. He can shapeshift. I'm going to hope he's at least good at that.
God damn it.
Shapeshift whatever you want.
I misstole my answer, so now I need to reconsider.
He's good at that. I don't want to kill Jesus or Buddha. They're nice boys. They're both nice.
Well, if you wanted to kill the asshole of the group, your answer should have been Zeus, but now you're stuck with it.
That's true. He is the asshole.
One of them to marry, one of them to kill. Here you go.
That's the problem. I mean, there's a lot of problems with Christianity as a religion, or as an organized religion. But Jesus himself said a lot of good things about peace and love, and was basically, an ancient hippie, You know, exactly. You know, I'm sorry. Whenever Jesus talking, I always think of him talking like a hippie man. He's just peace and love.
Dude.
Love thy neighbor.
Jesus is just Shaggy.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so you still
So
have.
I think
So
I
you're
have.
gonna marry
I think I have
Jesus?
to. I think I couldn't choose. The thing is, you know, marrying either of them would be nice. They're both peaceful, happy, great people that just want love and, you know, happiness for everyone. I couldn't bring myself to kill either of them. So I think I have to fail this one. I think I have to concede on it. I literally.
Wow.
You-
Is this our first
so,
conceding?
so wait,
Yeah.
or maybe, I mean, if this basically implies, since you cannot kill any either of them, so you basically say you want to live in a gay three-way marriage with Jesus and Buddha. I got it.
Isn't that...
This is the
That's
anime
just that
again.
anime.
This is again. This is
Yeah!
You know, there's worse out there. Worse ways to go.
All right.
True.
So, Max, do you want to go last or should I go?
Okay. I'm in a tricky.
Which one of us would come up with the most awkward answers?
I mean, I originally intended to fuck Zeus for the very same reason that Ambris described. But this is boring, especially since I also would have to have the same marriage person as him due to the fact that he picked two. So obviously I need to do something else. I still agree that marrying Zeus, I don't know. So I guess I kill him since I already bear like, hey, he's probably the biggest asshole of them all. Even so, the sad thing is I had better answers for Jesus and for Buddha to kill them, but no,
See,
I have to kill
if-
Zeus to stay hip.
I guess if you assume that, I'm assuming you'd have to try to kill Zeus, which would probably not work out. But if the answer implies that you automatically kill him,
Just snap
then
your
yeah,
fingers, Zeus is dead.
yeah. If you could
Yeah.
just smite him, then yeah, he's a freaking asshole.
Yeah.
Then yes.
So yeah, that's why I have to kill Zeus and leave the gold digger answer for Keyframe to marry Zeus.
I'm not gonna marry Zeus.
Really no. But yeah, so okay. So I think Buddha is really because here's the thing: Buddhism is less about religion, as in a god and all the stuff. No, it's more about inner peace, about finding a way and not caring too much of the struggles of the world, which is pretty good. This is solid stuff. So I guess I could rather see myself spend a lifetime with Buddha instead with the dude with the daddy issues. However, I have been told from millions of people around the world, and they all agree on this. Jesus has some good experiences with wood because he's a carpenter, and he and at the end of his story, he got some good nailing down. So yeah, I'm gonna fuck Jesus. Keep it. Your answer.
See, for some reason, I thought you were going to say, however, I'm going to marry Jesus because he can make stuff for me since he's a carpenter.
Dead. I'm dead. I'm sorry.
Good job. You kill Emerald. Ambris is dead now. You could take the title.
God.
How do you tap that? So,
Sorry, should have gone last.
shit.
I was just happy
Well,
that
for
I.
one thing, I'm gonna kill Jesus because he's gonna die anyways. I feel
For
like how I would look. I feel like how I would kill him is a lot more merciful than what the Romans did.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
I'm not gonna put a crown of thorns on his head
mean,
and
my
make him
aunt-
walk through the desert.
For our sins and all that.
My answer would have been kill Jesus. He has a power of resurrection, so he will be good afterwards.
He'll just be
That's true.
miffed at me. But no. So I'm gonna kill Jesus, and then
Later. Dude, what the heck?
I'm gonna kill Jesus, and I don't want to. Here's the thing: I didn't want to fuck Zeus because I've seen that fucking neon sign sculpture that's in front of the Eurofurence Hotel of him impregnating a person as a swan, and I'm like, I'm not into that kind of life. But
But
the
look,
other
he doesn't
thing
have
is,
to be a swan. He could be anything else.
He is,
You know,
know.
that
he
you-
is
Yeah,
the
but
father
still.
of all. He's the boss of all gods. He is living on Olympus, so You could do worse marriage.
I'd rather have Hades. No, here's the thing. If I was married to Zeus, then I could be like Hera and just be a vengeful god and fuck everyone else over.
That's my
so
keyframe.
My answer isn't gold digging. My answer is
Power.
just pure like power. Power. Also, think about the exercise route, like the automatic muscles that you would probably get once you be. I could get training from fucking Artemis. I would be fucking awesome looking.
Hell yeah, that's true.
Hell yeah, baby.
So, and what are your expectations for Buddha in bed?
Oh wait, I didn't think about that.
Look, Buddha got booty.
No, we're not ending it there. We're not ending it there. I'm coming up with something else. Ow. So, look. I'm going to kill Max. I'm laughing. No, here's the thing. Buddhism, it's all about overcoming suffering. So maybe there's a BDSM thing in there, like masochism. And so you suffer through it. And then through the whole thing, you attain nirvana, which is if an orgasm is nice, nirvana must be fucking amazing. And who would know better than the person who made Buddhism? Buddhism is just a way to fill out someone's sadistic kink and make it out in a normie-ass way that people will follow it.
What do you think the B stands for?
Why do you think so many, yeah. What do you think's under all those robes that these monks wear?
Oh boy.
I guess... Oh, one of the moral virtues of Buddhism is no rude speech. So,
Oops.
Oopsies.
Well, that was awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward guys. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guys. It's the awkward. Hard work and analysis, which you do not want.